Yeah, no, yeah, okay. I think I have some in my house, but
Oh, Miss Kilburn, if I'm taking notes, I can't put my up there after. So maybe Sasha. Oh. Sasha, can you go get the laptop just in case?
Is it on your desk?
I don't know, somewhere in the music council or in my Miss Kilburn's office. Hi.
Is
Right now is not a good time for forms.
all right. I just wanted to quickly hand them over to you.
Okay, we have a meeting right now for this exact tour, so come in, have a seat.
Oh, cool.
So I added a column at the end for attendance. So if you wanna, do you wanna call them and I'll?
Hi everybody, welcome to today's meeting. I'm going to ask that at this time you put your cell phones away, you have them out, and that you're attentively listening to the rest of today's meeting. So you are of course able to continue to eat. I did mention on the way in to be very careful with the seats. Okay, just here rather than down, whatever you're looking at. Again, put your cell phones away please. And keep them away for the rest of the meeting until we ask you to take them out, because we will probably ask you to look at something at one point during the meeting. Today's meeting is really important that right away we see from you guys that you're able to listen to instructions. So talking during instructions today is a big no-no, and I will say, you often don't see me angry, but that's one of the things that I get really angry with. During a meeting where I go over behavioral expectations and I immediately have students talking over top of me, that's a big concern for the trip, because when we go on the trip, instructions are quick and you have to be listening carefully in order to hear everything. So I'm going to go right into attendance, and during attendance, I'm going to get you to practice what we're going to do on the bus. I'm going to say here, and you're also going to raise your hand at the same time, and that way we can make sure that the right student is saying here. Okay, so you're going to loudly say here, while you raise your hand during attendance. Melena. Here. Max Brennan. Here. Mila. Jay. Here. Will. Here. Ava. Here. Zadie. Here. Jean. Jean Chen. Is Jean sick today? No. Where's Jean? Can we message her? Okay. She's going to have to fill out paperwork because she missed today's meeting. Vivian? Jane Childerhouse, here today? Okay, Nathan Chuma? Marcel.
Marcel is sick today.
Isabel Cuyo. Christopher Corey? Calvin Queen? Adrian? Remember to stay here. Elizabeth?
Sorry, is Adrienne here?
Yes.
Okay. She's not here today. She's French.
Okay, Danielle Domingo?
Did you miss Emma Din?
Emma Din? Skylar Faye? Victor Kong? Kyra G? Okay, Kyra may be withdrawing from the trip.
Oh, geez.
I'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
Nada Adam? Back at school today, Nada? She's been sick. Nada's been sick. Come on in, you can eat inside. Oh, yeah, come on in. Alice Greco? Here. Camila Guardado? Sammy Hill? Here. Ethan He? Here. Terry Hong? Zoe? Here. Andy Wang? Andy? Does he have a math test today? An AP exam? It's an AP exam. Dylan Way? Veronica? Also not here, possibly with Jane. Elazar? Not here. Nathan Camp? Linus Kaminsky? Danny Cow? Felix Ketty? Scarlett Kemp?
She's gonna be late.
Good. Tiffany Kong? Cassandra Kang? Cassandra? Can we message Cassandra? Do we have her contact, or can you run to go get her? If you know where these students are, it's a lot better if you're in the meeting in person. So if you know where they are, you can run to go get them. Lucas, you're next on the attendance. Okay, so somebody's messaging her. Thank you. Simon. Simon Corley. Morning. Simon not here today?
No, he was here.
Okay, can somebody message Simon if you have his contact information? Aston? Is Aston here today? Okay, if we have his contact information, message him. Some of the students who are not in strings this semester are missing messages because they were in concert band first semester only, like Elazar and Aston. So if we can message them, that would be great. Or if we know where they hang out and somebody could be a runner to go get them. Do we know where Aston and Simon hang out?
I'm gonna guess that Aston's one of the kids who is ill after the summit trip.
Ryan Lai?
COVID. Huh? Half of them got
Daniel
COVID.
Lamb?
I mean, I
Sorry, was Ryan a yes?
Yeah, it was a yes.
Can I get a
Joyce
fork?
Law?
Not right now.
Okay.
Ian
thank you,
Lerner?
Yeah, you can throw that out. Miss Kilburn, I missed a bunch. Sorry, Ryan Lai,
Ryan Lai?
Daniel Lamb.
Daniel Lamb here.
Okay.
Joyce Law? Here. Ian Lerner? Guys, what did I say about talking during instructions? You cannot talk during attendance. It's very disruptive and it takes a lot of extra time. It is boring to be doing attendance for a really long time. Ian Lerner? Here. But remember to say here, okay? Cody Lynn? Bryce Lynn?
Jackie Lee. Sorry, Jackie Lee, you missed.
Okay, Jackie Lee? Emil? Jake Louie? Nazia McRae? Vince Mancera? Brandon Mang? Owen Marsden? Owen Marsden? Is he French? Yeah. Okay, he's away. Catherine Mortensen? Nima? Nicolo? Can we message Nicolo or find him if we know where he is in the building? Okay. Annika? Matthew? Landon? Noah? Noah? Oliver Pang? In the building? Is he sick today?
He's been gone all week. Or at least he was gone on Monday.
Yeah, he was at Summit, but he was here on Wednesday, actually. He was the only Summit kid who came to class on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So Noah's not at school today?
It's possible he's also one of the 6 summits.
Maybe we can message him. Dio? Lucius? Hi. Kara? Katie? Miguel? Sayuri? Soleil?
She's French.
Aaron Surface? Do we know where Aaron Surface is today? If we know where he is, if I could get a runner to go get Aaron Surface, that would be great. And does anybody have Jane's contact information? Sending Jane a text to get Jane in here, as well as Veronica, would be great. Thank you. If you could do that. Solly Shapiro, you're next on the attendance. I see you here. Han Bishin.
French.
Maxine Sims. Ruel. Serena. Hazen. Ashlyn. Owen Urquhart.
Is he French?
Is Owen Urquhart French?
Yes.
Okay. Cassidy Wong.
Stay here.
Dan Wong. Steve
Stay here.
Ezra Wu? Michael? Here. And Ryan. Staring with his head. Okay. All right, so we're going to start the meeting with going over the behavioral. Oh, you know what? We should do a check for our senior leaders as well. Is that all the senior leaders who are here today?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Abby, what's that?
Or I'm not sure.
She wasn't in choir this morning.
So that's two. We've got Evan, Clifton,
That's 9. That's right.
Nathan, 9. Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay, Nicola, you're 8. Okay, moving out. And he's made it for all the meetings. So I guess we'll just practice if he comes in late.
Yeah. I'm on it.
Thank you, Mr. Dirk.
Okay, thanks everybody for your patience during attendance. I know that can be like a bit tedious, which is why I say if you're quiet and you just say here and you raise your hand, it'll make attendance always go faster, more time for fun, less time for boring old attendance. Okay, so behavioral expectations. You guys are a nice group of grade 8 and 9s, but to be honest, we don't really know you all that well yet. We haven't gone on a trip together with any of you. Whether you're grade 9s or grade 8s, that's overnight. And so it's really important that we understand what Van Tech's code of conduct is, but also what it means if we break Van Tech's code of conduct on a trip. Because for Ms. Riegert and I, it makes a big difference. And for your student chaperones, for Kate, she's one of our chaperones here as well today. For all of your chaperones, we will have a really fun, awesome trip with you as long as we can follow the code of conduct and have a really great trip. So I'm seeing some people talking to each other, looking down, and not listening. Sorry, Lucas, stop. And everybody be listening right now. I know you went to the other meeting, but I still need you to be listening right now. There might be people behind you who can't hear. Very, very important. Okay, so we're representing our school at all times. Do not do anything disrespectful. Respectful toward chaperones means in your own rooms, lights out, that means that. Keep yourselves and your chaperones healthy. Teenagers, as you know, you need a lot of sleep, but unfortunately the sleep hours are probably not what you'd like them to be. I know you like to go to bed late and wake up late, but because of the nature of a trip like this, we have to go to bed early and wake up early. So make sure that you're getting some sleep to keep yourselves healthy. I also want to mention that your chaperones, we only have a few hours to ourselves each day, and that's only when we're in our rooms, that's it. So only after your chalet curfew. So you have lots of free time for fun and games. In the evening before your curfew, lots of free time. Don't sneak out after curfew for any reason. We know that there are bathrooms that may be apart from the rooms themselves. So you may have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That is different. That is not going into somebody else's room and keeping somebody else up. We need to know that we can trust you'll stay safely in your rooms. If there's an emergency situation, you need to call out for one of the chaperones. If we have to know a student sneaking out, you will have to deal with calling your parents and explaining it to them. And that means when it happens too. Just want to go over that with everybody. We have a policy that if we catch you sneaking out in the middle of the night, you're calling your parents in the middle of the night to let them know that you just got caught sneaking out. So that is a big enough deterrent, I believe, for you guys to know better. If that happens, and it has happened on trips before, what you have to understand is that your chaperones have just lost at least 2 hours of sleep, being up and contacting and dealing with that as well. So again, it's very exhausting for the people who are trying to make sure that you have a fun trip. So that's why we have that policy in place to hopefully deter anybody from doing that. In terms of safety, we also think it's really important that you're with the roommates that you signed up for and you don't have other people coming into your room that you did not agree to. If that happens, then it's also an issue of safety. We have an open door policy when hanging out in rooms to keep everyone safe and feeling comfortable. If someone who is not a member of your assigned rooming group is hanging out in your room, you must leave the door propped open. So in the evening when we have some time to ourselves, it's important that if you're hanging out in rooms, you keep the door propped open if there's somebody in your room that's not a room sign-up person. Some of you guys have rooms of 2, and so you're likely going to want to go hang out with somebody else. In that case, just simply leave the door propped open. You can use a speaker, a backpack, whatever it takes, just to indicate to us chaperones as we're walking around and monitoring that you have other people in the room. Make the trip fun for everyone. If you make the stupid decision to bring drugs, and by drugs, I'm actually more of a bracket for a lot of stuff, not just drugs, marijuana, tobacco, vaporizer in any form, including non-tobacco flavorings, or alcohol, you will be sent home immediately at the expense of your parents. But it doesn't just affect you and your roommates. I'm just waiting for some people to focus. And like, look forward, right? Just stay forward in your chair. Thank you. It doesn't just affect you and your roommates or yourself, it really affects the entire trip. And I'll explain an example to you. If Miss Rieger and I suddenly have to be walking around and making sure that we have no contraband on the trip, how can we also be engaged with you in the learning and the fun that we're doing? I can't do both. Miss Rieger cannot do both. I can't be a detective and a music teacher. Like, I have one job. My job, hopefully, will be music teacher, right? I mean, I'm parenting you, Miss Rieger too. We're parents in you. We cannot be detectives. So what happens as soon as this comes up on a trip, it ruins the trip for everybody. So I just want to warn you, it's not just about you, it ruins it for everybody. I don't want to hear even a whiff of any of this stuff. Before, during, or after the trip, I will tell you, it always gets back to me. It's never not gotten back to me in one way or another. And so if it happens before, during, or after the trip that I hear about it, it's still going to affect the trip. So it's extremely important that you're not coming on this trip as like an excuse to get away from your parents to do any of that stuff. I'm not trying to be judgmental. If that's something that you do, I obviously don't approve, but I only care about what you're doing on this trip. And you need to make sure that this trip is 100% clean, good fun, so that everybody can have clean, good fun. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody understands? Really, really important. The other thing is that when this happens, we have to reduce independent free time for the rest of the group. So you directly affect others in that way as well. Curfew becomes earlier, you know, you're sent to your rooms, that kind of stuff. So that Ms. Rieger and I, again, have time to do detective work. It just really does put a damper on the trip for everybody. Not fun. As we mentioned at the beginning, roll call attendance, you need to say yes or here and raise your hand. Never say yes for another student. I know that that seems kind of like redundant. Oh, of course, I would say yes for another student. I have an example of a time where we left a student behind. No joke. We left them behind in Whistler. And you know why we left them behind in Whistler? Somebody on the bus thought it would be funny to say here for the student. And so during roll call, when we did roll call, we thought that that student was on the bus, and they were not. It took us about 20 minutes before I got a call from the hotel that the student was still there, and another 20 minutes until the bus could turn around because of the way the roads work between here and Whistler. So it was a full hour and a half that we lost. Kate, you were on that bus?
I was on the other one.
On the other bus, yeah. And so like that, I'll never forget that particular experience and how important it is now for me to also make sure that I see a hand as you say here. I think that that type of thing is more likely to happen on a junior trip because I think the seniors are at a point of maturity level where they recognize how stupid it would be to do that. So hopefully I can expect like a high maturity level from you guys as well and respecting the importance of this. Okay, and if you're somebody who does that, and if you hear somebody do that on the trip, can you guys please just immediately alert us so that we never leave a student behind? Super, super important. To be on time is to be late, be 5 minutes early to be safe. So your call time is at 7 o'clock a.m. for loading team, large percussions, etc. What time should you actually be at the school? 6:55. So 7 o'clock minus 5. So that's to be on time is to be late. So make sure you're here by 6:55. If you are supposed to be here in the smaller instrument groups, you're not carrying any percussion down, your call time in the morning is 7:20. What time could you be here at the school? 7:15. Yeah, so try to make your call times 5 minutes early. It creates a level of stress when we depart if students are late to get to the morning pack up on the bus. And we have to call parents and figure out where you are. We'll do a health check once we get on the bus, but as you know, with COVID symptoms and sharing small spaces, if you have COVID symptoms when you wake up that day, it's important you do not attend the trip, just like you went over with your parents in the notes and you signed. Okay, so we'll do a check on the bus, but make sure you are also aware of that. You will be reduced curfew if anyone is late. So like, let's say we're on the bus and everybody's there and one person is late and we can't leave on time. That one person, don't be that one person, will be responsible for the entire group reducing curfew time. What do we want to put it at, Ms. Rieger? We want to do 10 minutes for every 1 minute late?
Sure.
Yeah. 10 minutes curfew reduction for every 1 minute late. So very important that you do not hold up the entire bus. You have to understand that holding up the entire bus puts a damper on the trip for other people. It's not just about you. Whenever we do trips like this, just like in concert band and in strings, it's not just about you. The ensembles aren't either. You have to be respectful of the fact that you are a member of a large team. And so the whole team needs to do things together. Wear your lanyard at all times. During the games, when you're down in the field for pinnacle pursuits, I would recommend tucking your lanyard into your shirt, or if it gets, I don't want anybody to have like an experience with a lanyard choking them, because I don't know how exactly active you're going to be down there. I'd say tucking it into your shirt, or you can put it in your pocket at that point. But when you're on the bus and ready to go, you'll get it when you arrive in the morning. If you lose your lanyard, it has all of your information on it, or who to contact, like mine and Miss Rieger's phone numbers in case of emergency. It also has your rooming number, so you know who you're about to room with. It also has information on it for all of the workshops and when we're doing what. If you lose that lanyard with all that information in it, you have to pay $5 replacement cost. Okay, it doesn't actually cost $5 to replace it. The $5 replacement cost is just another way to encourage you guys to make sure you have your lanyards on you at all times. When it's time to listen. Instructions are quick. I'm seeing that after a couple of reminders, most of you guys have been doing a great job of listening today, which is excellent. Thank you very much. We'll have a lot of fun that way. Earphones and electronic devices are kept out of sight, except for the long haul bus trip. So on the long haul bus trip, then you can of course listen to your music, whatever you'd like to do at that point. Remember that you're on this trip to engage with students, chaperones, and clinicians, not your portable computer. Take a mental break from it. And you will be asked to it will be confiscated if it becomes a problem. Don't make us cell phone police. That's not what we're interested in doing. In the clinics, expectation is to be attentive, focused, respectful. Don't embarrass yourselves by talking during an explanation. In class, when Ms. Rieger or I talk and some of you guys are a little chit-chatty, we don't get too mad at you. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we crack, right? Clinicians, if you do that around a clinician, the immediate reaction is snap. They will get very upset. Also behavior like you're not eating during the clinic, you're not eating candy or other stuff like that during the clinics, you're listening attentively. Very important that you show them that you're interested in learning. Answering questions is really great. If you don't know the answer to a question, that's okay, but if you do know an answer to a question, make sure that you answer. And this one is maybe a bit old-fashioned, but some people are kind of old-fashioned. So I just want to make sure you're aware that you should not wear hoods or hats during clinics, because hoods and hats indicate that you're not interested in learning. That's the vibe that people get from you. So it's important that you are showing your interest levels, that you have a fun time in the clinic. If you're ever feeling sick, overwhelmed, lonely, it's really important you let your chaperones and senior leaders know. That's what we're here for. Emergency contact numbers, like I mentioned, are in your lanyards, and you'll receive our chalet numbers at the resort. And there's going to be one teacher or chaperone posted in every single chalet. So there's like a room number in every chalet to go to if something happens in the night as well. Again, we are always representing Van Tech at the resort, and we won't be the only clientele. I believe that there are other people also at the resort at the same time. So we are being respectful of that and the others as well. Music Council, chaperones, percussion, and small instrument students assigned to percussion. Loading team, large instruments, that's tenor sax and bigger, will meet at 7 a.m. in room 511, so that's the music room, to finish organizing and start transporting equipment down to the bus. All others and their instruments arrive at 7:20 a.m. on Slocan, with music and luggage ready to load. Bus departs at 7:45 a.m. sharp. I'm going to post the itinerary online for you. I can see that we're not going to have time to go over the itinerary together today. If you would like us to copy it for you, give you a hard copy, you may request. Otherwise, you can print it yourself, or you can have it on your cell phone to look at. You'll be given an itinerary each day in your lanyard, so you don't have to have the itinerary. You just need to know what time to show up in the morning. Do you guys remember what time to show up? Who shows up at 7? Yeah, big instruments, percussion, loading team. Senior leaders are loading team automatically, and some of our percussion students will also be added to loading team. Where you're going to find that information is stay tuned on our music program team for updates and posted itinerary, packing list, percussion assignments for loading. If you play only one small instrument, you may be assigned to help carry a percussion instrument. I'll tag you on Teams. We will make those posts early next week and tag you. If you would like a hard copy of the itinerary or the packing list, let me know, and we can have a few available. We're just trying to save some paper, because we recognize that not everybody needs to have a piece of paper. The packing list is made a couple changes. The parents also saw those changes in the meeting, and I'm going to go over the changes, because we originally had the itinerary and we originally had a packing list, and we've definitely changed them both. So I have a few follow-up questions for you. My first question is, do you have a portable stand? And if you don't, we do need to bring some for you for the trip. So can I get a raise of hands right now for all the students who need to borrow a portable stand for the trip? Raise your hand if you need to borrow one.
That's bad. That's really, really bad. And I'll say why. Because it's in your course outline that you should buy one if you're in band or strings. And that means, that tells Ms. Kilburn and I right now that most of you are not practicing at home with good posture. So this weekend, you need to talk to your parents and say, hey, do we have $10 to $20 to spare to buy a folding music stand? And if they say yes, you need to buy one. That's really, really bad. I am disappointed, like frustratingly disappointed in you guys right now for how many of you are not practicing with music stand at home. No, that won't work on this tour. We don't have tables to put it on.
Okay, so what we need is for you guys to try to buy your own stands. We don't have enough stands to take with us on this trip for that. We have 23 portable stands only. Concert band students cannot share stands. There's about 36 students in beginner concert band on the trip. That's our largest concert band group. On the trip, we have about 50 students or so, maybe 45 in strings. You can share stands, so technically we have enough stands for the string orchestra, but we definitely don't for concert band. So very important that if you're able to, and you're continuing in music next year, that you buy a stand. It's going to be a great investment for you. Really good investment for all the years during the music program. And then after the weekend, if you don't have a stand, you're going to send me a tag on Teams. You must send a reply to my post that says, I need to borrow a stand, Ms. Kilburn. Okay? Otherwise, there will not be a stand for you on the trip. So make sure you organize yourselves this weekend. My second question is that on day 2 of our workshops, there are other fun activities, and we need your help in figuring out where your interests are for gauging numbers and room allocation or activity purchasing. If you could choose between forest laser tag or battle archery, or neither, you wouldn't be interested in either of them, that's what I'm asking you for. So forest, the 3 options are forest laser tag, battle archery, or you wouldn't be interested in either. Give you a moment to think about it.
Also, I've noticed I made a test post on Teams that I was not expecting any of you to respond to. If you've responded to it, you need to put your phone away. Sayuri Ruiz, put your phone away.
Gotcha.
It was not to get you, it was to see who was seeing posts, but like you shouldn't have your phone out.
Okay, so I'm asking the question now. Ready? Okay, so question is, forest laser tag, battle archery, or neither? And can I get you guys to help count? Okay, and senior leaders, you're not going to vote for this. You're just going to be put wherever.
You can help count though.
Okay, forest laser tag.
Don't know.
Hands up all the way.
Hands up, forest laser tag. Interested in forest laser tag?
So it looks like majority.
Hands up all the way. Jane, your hand's too small.
Is Forrest 1R or 2?
I think it's one.
Yeah, that's right.
I know someone with the last name with 2, and so I always get confused.
Yes.
Right? Like, why are we doing this? Same with desert. I still can't with desert.
Okay, thank you. Hands down. Who's interested in battle archery? Hands down. Hands down. Battle archery now. Battle archery.
Can you vote twice?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like Forrest laser tag wins.
And the last question is, who is interested in neither of those activities? Be honest. Be honest. You're not interested in either. It's okay, because I have another. There's a few people in the back that didn't raise their hand for either. Like Jackie Lee, for example. Are you interested in either of those activities or neither of them? Are you a neither?
What about fourth option? You don't care either way. You would be happy to go to whatever we put you in. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good question too. About 10. Okay. Thanks, guys. This will help me decide what we're doing on that second day. So for the students who aren't interested in either option, we will have for one of the two. If you're in strings, you would only get one activity anyway. If you're in band and strings, you do need 2 activities. One of them is going to be a music appreciation class with music council president the same year as you, Kate Johnson, Aiden Quach, who is studying to become a teacher, and he's going to do music in Asia, Asian music. This sounds like a really cool workshop that he's planning on doing with everybody. Discussing and figuring out like how the 2 different areas influence each other. So I think you're going to enjoy that one as well. We have additions to your packing list. They are extremely important. They are sun hat and sunglasses, sunscreen and bug spray. This one is crucial. We will not have extras. Sleeping bag. Sleeping bag, and if desired, bed sheets. Bed sheets are not mandatory, but there will be no sheets under bed.
Do they need a
Mattresses are sanitized in between
pillow?
different clientele, but there's no sheet on your bed. So if you want like a bottom layer sheet or top layer sheet plus a sleeping bag, then you would have to bring all of that yourselves. The linens, if you were to purchase linens per bed, they were $110
per person?
per person. So we did not purchase linens.
Do they need a
okay?
pillow, Miss Kilburn?
No, I didn't say pillow yet. So pillow, towel. So I'm going to say them again. The additions to your packing list are extremely important. Sun hat and sunglasses, sunscreen and bug spray. Bug spray, maybe not so much, maybe. Sleeping bag and bed sheets, pillow, towel. There will be no pillows. There will be no towels. There will be no bedding. You must bring that stuff yourself. Do you guys understand? If you forget that stuff, that's going to be an uncomfortable night for you.
Nima, put your phone away.
Ms. Riegert and I do not have a bunch of extra stuff like that to take with us on the trip to make sure you guys have extras. So it's really important you bring it yourselves. So we did not have time to go over the itinerary or the packing list, but I did give you the information that you needed on the itinerary and the packing list. What I would like you guys to remember after this meeting, as you leave, is the importance of the things I went over in the code of conduct. And talk to your friends about it, talk to your family about it. If you have concerns, if you hear about somebody talking about bringing something they shouldn't, you should let me know now so that we can deal with it ahead of the trip and not have to deal with it on the trip. Much easier to deal with it ahead of time, okay? And I'm really looking forward to this trip with you. I know we're seeming a bit strict today, but it's important you understand that we have to be strict for your safety whenever we take you on a trip like this, and for your well-being, and for everybody to have fun. There's times when we're all going to be very, very relaxed and laughing with each other and having a lot of fun, and there will be other times where it's super important that you follow instructions and that you're respectful of your chaperones. Okay, so unfortunately, we are a little over time for class. What we'll have to do is send out an ED to all of the teachers.
Doing that right now.
However, if there's any students who have a teacher who might like give detention or something if you're late to their class, why don't you come on up right now, line up, and we'll make sure that you have something to take to them as you leave for today's class. Okay, that is the conclusion of our meeting. We ask that you guys exit quickly and quietly and head to your classes quietly as well. As I said, your classes are in session. So as you go to your classes, please exit quietly. Please come on up and grab your pen.
Those are Jane for
Miss Leon.
oh, Miss Leon.
Yeah. Just like the listings.
Can you grab me a stack of practice records?
Practice records. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just write them on the back. What? Yes.